fully healthy Kawhi Leonard's a top 5 player in this current NBA.
Yeah.
A fully healthy Leonard right now.
In the playoffs, I would take him top 3. I'd take him top 3.
I agree. And
I would take Jokic, Curry, then I would take Leonard.
Okay, so
that's probably. I'm taking him over Tatum. I'm taking him over Donovan Mitchell. I'm taking him over Jaylen Brown. I'm probably today, if healthy, based on what I'm getting, I might take him over Doncic.
Hear me out on this. I know the Joker is the best player. Colin, late in games though, I'd rather have and I know he has the ball in his hand, or whatever. I'd rather have a player like Kawhi Leonard and LeBron James who do a little bit more with their game. Does that make sense? Like, play that number 3 position. Like Kobe, LeBron, Michael, Kawhi, not necessarily a big man. Is that making sense to you?
I understand.
I'd rather have a player who's going to go ISO with 5 running down on the shot clock, going to pick his spot on the court, step back jumper, book it. That's the player I want. So I would put LeBron at this point still over the Joker. If that in a high leverage pressure situation, you kind of saw it last night. Now, I know the Joker got a rebound and chucked up a desperate 3. That's not necessarily fair for me to say. But at the same time, I'd rather have that caliber of player where you're going to be able to dribble to the spot on the court that you want and hit a tough contested shot. I'd rather have one of those guys than the Joker.
Jokic is the best player in basketball, and despite him being, whether you enjoy his style of play or not, the referees, the whole thing. So I'd probably just have to do it, and he's a great postseason player. He killed the Lakers all those times. He was up and down against Minnesota last year, but he's still, that's Jokic.
I think Jamal Murray is that team's closer for a big shot. I think Jamal Murray is the one.
He can be, but he can be. Now, granted, Jokic, he determines the offense. Jamal Murray's job is not to determine the offense. It is Jokic's job. Whoever gets the ball, gets the ball. Be ready.
Right.
Jokic will determine, he will set the course. He will dictate what's going to happen. Now, because of that, I would say it runs through him. If Jamal Murray has to make a shot here and there because he's hot, I think, to Joker's credit, they're pretty good at letting him do that.
They are, and we saw Jamal Murray hit big shots during the championship run. And let's rewind last year when he hit that shot over Anthony Davis, and Davis ran out of the press conference. So that's when I'm meaning a closer, a guy like that who's going to get you that last shot, who you're going to go to in possessions. It's hard for a big man to do that. I think it's hard for big men to do that in this current style of NBA.
Kawhi Leonard, 39 points, 15-19 shooting, won 105-102 in the late slot. Clippers versus the Nuggets. It got me thinking about Kawhi's career. Let's think about this for a second. This is somebody who gave LeBron fits, was the deciding factor. I know the Heat got older, but really was a difference maker, the difference maker, in determining whether the Heat were going to win that second straight against San Antonio or not. Kawhi Leonard won the MVP that year. He was young. He was more of a defensive-minded player. He wasn't as polished offensively, but he gave LeBron fits. There's no doubt about that.
Yep.
And that was the whole reason, similar to Iguodala, why he got that Finals MVP. You go forward a couple more years, he turns into an MVP candidate in his final couple years in San Antonio. People forget that year that the Golden State Warriors went 73-9, the San Antonio Spurs went 67-15. They went 40-1 at home. Only team other to do that is the 86 Celtics. Look them up.
Yep.
And they were great. They lost to Oklahoma City in the postseason, but point being, that was an all-time great team. And then he went to the Raptors. They did that little swap for DeMar DeRozan. He immediately takes them to the promised land. And he beat, I know Durant got hurt, Thompson got hurt, but he beat Curry head-to-head. Mm-hmm. He beat the Sixers head-to-head. I believe they beat the Bucks in that postseason run as well.
The famous game I think of with Kawhi Leonard is hitting that shot in the corner versus Philly.
Game 7.
And having Embiid crying and doing the whole 9 yards. And as a Cavs fan, I go, God, the 1 year Golden State gets hurt is the year LeBron leaves. I found that apropos too, don't get me wrong. But you play who you play at the time. And I'm not taking away anything Kawhi Leonard did during that playoff run because he was the best player in the playoffs that year. He was the best player on the court. And when healthy, I think Kawhi Leonard is one of the better players since the turn of 2000.
He is as big of a what if as similar to Bill Walton. Bill Walton's a massive what if. And that's a guy who won 2 championships. Won a championship with 77 in the Trailblazers, and then he won it again in 86. And he is a massive what if. Top 3 college player of all time. That's Bill Walton. He couldn't get his feet injuries in check. Derrick Rose, another one. Kawhi Leonard, with all of his success, he's a what if because he is capable if healthy, like Mike said, if healthy, his career, his body let him down. Because he is so much better than what his body allows him
to be. At the superstar level, Kyle, at the superstar level, I think he might be the biggest what if outside of Derrick Rose. I think if D. Rose does, and listen, Leonard's injuries have been bad, but Rose's injury was particularly bad with how it affected his game and whatever. I think outside of Derrick Rose, he is the biggest what if at the superstar position that I've seen.
He's played 70-plus games twice, both with San Antonio when he was 24 and 25 years old. Since then, he's played 60, 57, 52, didn't make it through to the postseason. Then he played with the Clippers again, missed a whole year due to injury. Played with the Clippers, 2 years ago, and he played in that series against Phoenix, and he only played the first 2 games. He had like 38 points in 31. Then he couldn't go the rest of the way. People are wondering, and people give Kawhi flack. He doesn't play, load management. He was a big catalyst in load management. San Antonio popularized load management. Popovich invented that. You think LeBron invented it? It was Popovich. Popovich invented that, and people didn't let Kawhi hear the end of it. But now you're starting to see the vision. This guy could not stay healthy, whether it's a body thing, genetics, people around him, his team, whatever it may be. He just hasn't been able to stay healthy. And you understanding why him only playing 30-some-odd games in the regular season towards the latter half of the season in 2024, this year, in 2024, 2025, then all of a sudden he's doing this. That's why you rest. Because he is what people say Jimmy Butler is. Kawhi Leonard is more of that. You think Jimmy Butler's a playoff riser? Kawhi is the playoff riser.
And he is, like, his game, too, is, but with all due respect to Jimmy, who's a great player, his game is better than Jimmy's. Colin, I still have a problem with load management.
Right. Don't you see why?
I still have a real big problem with it. And let's rewind to last year. Let me rewind to last year, because we did this with Kawhi, and he said he couldn't go after resting all those games. And the Clippers basically wasted a whole year resting him. And then when the playoffs come around, he goes, yeah, guys, I can't go. I had a big problem with that.
Well, But here's the thing. Like, you understand, this guy's body lets him down time and time again.
It does. And
maybe that's a preparation thing. Maybe he's not doing it the right way. He needs to get on the LeBron diet, whatever it might be. But to hypothesize like that, he hasn't been able to make it to the end of the season.
Okay, all right. So let's put this full picture real quick. If a player like Kawhi Leonard, as good as he is consistently getting hurt, and there are players who like the load management, you'll never shorten the season because the owners want the money for the games, and I understand to get butts and seats. But Colin, it's a great segue into, all right, let's shorten the season. If this is the case, if all these guys have
a singular player, but I understand.
But all of the guys have a problem with. You're telling me LeBron wouldn't like it? You're telling me KD wouldn't like it? I don't know. I think this is a perfect case of shorten the season. I didn't mean for it to turn the conversation into this, but I have a huge problem with guys not playing in the games. I do. I have a big problem. I have a huge problem with
hurt, Mike. If he's hurt, there's nothing you can do. If he's hurt, what are we supposed to do? And this guy, his knees have let him down time and time again. What are we supposed to do?
But if you're healthy and ready to go, you got to play in the games. Or do you risk?
But he's not load managing playoff games. Are you talking about the regular season?
I'm talking about the regular season.
This guy's never put together an 80-game season. He's never put together 75-plus in a season. And that's just because his body doesn't let him. That's the what if attached to him.
It is.
They need him now. You think the Clipper fan is mad he missed the first 50 games of the season?
No, they're not.
Right now?
But last year they were. Last year they were when he did miss 50 games and did do the load management. So I understand. And listen, I didn't mean to turn this into pro load management or whatever and shorten the season.
I'm not pro it either. It drives me nuts when healthy players who can make it to the end of the season, have no problem doing it, miss games. But when Joel Embiid can't make it to the end of the season every single year, and Kawhi Leonard cannot make it to the end of the season every single year, you start to understand why they're trying to, I guess, manage it differently.
Popularize load management. And my solution is to shorten the season. That's my solution.